Hey guys, it's Nick here. In today's video, we're gonna go over 10 mind-blowing, simple steps any entrepreneur can take to raise their business credit score, okay? So what are business credit scores? These are scores in the business's name. A business builds its own credit profile and credit score. Then the business will then qualify for graded credit. This measures the business ability to pay and not the owner's. Most major business credit scores range from 0 to 100. All right, your credit score isn't automatic. Unlike for consumer credit scoring, you have to apply, get an EIN from the IRS website, get a DUNS number from Dun & Bradstreet, which takes a few weeks, and tally up 3 separate payment experiences. Then DMB starts tracking your business's financial activity, and you get a paydex score. For other business credit reporting agencies, no payment experiences are necessary, so you start with a failing business credit score because you have no payment history. Fortunately, there's a lot you can do to raise your score. A mathematical model generally used to depict the business risk of going 90 days late on an account within the next 12 months. It differs from personal credit scoring, which depicts risk over 24 months. Your business's credit profile links to its EIN and not your SSN. A business credit score depicts how likely the business is to default on payments. It has nothing to do with how the business owners pay his or her own bills. All credit reporting agencies show multiple business credit scores to evaluate different forms of risk. These scores are usually used by credit issuers, lenders, suppliers, vendors, and others who typically extend credit to businesses. There is no Fair Credit Reporting Act for business. Creditors and vendors are under no obligation to tell you which scores they are relying upon. Anyone can pull your business credit report. With no applicable Fair Credit Reporting Act, you may never know who's looking at your business credit reports. That can be not just vendors, lenders, and creditors, but also competitors and clients and business prospects. 3 big credit reporting agencies for business credit. One is Dun & Bradstreet, just for business. Another is Experian and Equifax. Both do consumer and business. Smaller credit reporting agencies aren't checked as often. The big 3 matter a lot more, but there are 2 more to consider. The Small Business Scoring Service and Credit Safe. The SBA uses this. Scores range from 0 to 300 and reflect likelihood of applicant paying bills timely. Personal and business credit history plus financial data go into the total score calculation. The Credit Safe includes financial trade payment data. It also includes lease payments, payments to business credit cards, term loan payments, other debt payments made by a business. The CRAs all use slightly different methods, but the main criteria for scoring are the same. They just might have different weights. Knowing how the scores are calculated shows you how to raise your credit scores most effectively. So now we're going to talk about the DMB scoring criteria. They look at bankruptcies and liens, lawsuits against your company, your credit card payments, your bill payments. To get a paydex score, a business needs at least 3 trade accounts reporting to their file. It can take up to 90 days for those trades to report and score to be established. And the 90 days is because they report every quarter. Most vendors report every quarter, so that's every 3 months. So that's why it could take up to 90 days, but it could be as quick as 30 days. The business credit score itself is calculated by using as many as 875 payments. It's a weighted average with more weight given to trade accounts that report higher amounts of credit extended. It gives less weight to trade accounts that report lower dollar amounts of credit. To keep paydex scores up, if you can only pay one bill, pay the biggest one first. Past performance and bill payment is the main driver of this number, ranging from 1 to 100. The higher the credit score, the lower the risk. A business can get a good business paydex credit score by ensuring payments are made promptly to suppliers and vendors. Experian Commercial, large database, they apply their own analytic software. Reports include public records, scoring, trade information, financial history, court judgments, UCC filings, and the Experian scoring criteria for the IntelliScore Plus is historical behavior payment history equals 5 to 10% of total score. Current payment status, trade balances, and percent of accounts delinquent equals 50 to 60% of score. Credit utilization is 10 to 15% of score. Company profile, age of business, industry risk, and size of business assessed by a number of employees equals 5 to 10% of total score. And 10 to 15% of total score is based on derogatory items like collections, liens, judgments, and bankruptcies. And total score basis includes number of trade experiences, outstanding balances and payment habits, credit utilization and trends over time, public record recency, frequency and dollar amount, demographics like years on file and SIC codes and business size. The Equifax scoring criteria, they collect utility account information, trade vendor data, public records like bankruptcies, judgments, lawsuits, and liens, information from the Small Business Financial Exchange. The FICO SBSS scoring criteria takes into account, among other things, personal credit information, business credit history, age of business, and years in business, financial details like cash flow and revenue. What can lower a business credit score? Current collections, liens, judgments, bankruptcies, or other derogatory public records, including status, recency, frequency, and dollar amounts. Increased trend and slow payment of obligations. Increase in number of business credit inquiries or applications generated by the business or the owner. Number of trade experiences, balances outstanding, payment habits, credit utilization, and trends over time. Short TIB, line of business, or SIC code. Size of business, and other demographic data. What can raise a business credit score? Generally the reverse of what can lower business credit scores. So some of these steps take time. Be patient. Great business credit can be built quickly, but it's not immediate. First, let's start with the biggest thing you can do. Step 1, pay on time every time. Get the most favorable funding by paying all bills on time. This means a payback score of 80, Equifax credit risk score of 90 or better. A good FICO SBSS score will be driven in part by on-time payments. For Experian, historical behavior payment history is 5 to 10% of total score. For SBA loans, you won't be approved with the FICO SBSS score under 140, but the typical cutoff can be as high as 160. Below that, you will probably be denied due to being too high a risk. Chances are good that the SBA lender won't even submit your application to SBA if your score doesn't meet the threshold. How well does your company pay its outstanding invoices? How has your business's payment performances changed over time? Are major factors, all right? Step 2, start with the vendor credit tier. The vendor credit tier consists of true starter vendors. They will extend credit when other businesses won't. Here are 3 of our favorites: Uline, Quill, and Granger Industrial Supply. Generate more payment experiences. Develop payment experiences for your business. This means using your credit or financing. It means paying everything back on time and in full every single time. All right, step 4, unleash the power of trade references. Payment experiences will matter the most if a creditor reports to the credit reporting agency, but even non-reporting creditors can help. If you ask for a trade references are some of the only subjective information on credit reports. They go beyond the numbers. Step 5, give the credit reporting agencies what they want. Check your business credit reports regularly. Is information incomplete or missing altogether? Always update your records with all the CRAs when there are changes. These kinds of changes can be in ownership, overall number of employees, business entity, corporation, LLC, etc., locations, and new addresses. Step 6, run your company financially responsibly. This means retaining enough assets to cover business downturns. It means not overspending. It means not taking on more debt than your company can handle. DNB in particular looks at chances a company will go bankrupt within a set period of time. So take steps to keep your business's finances out of the red. Step 7, keep your trade payments in line. Pay rents and utilities on time. If your businesses can't, talk to your providers. Maybe you can work out a payment plan. Consider ways to cut expenses if you just can't keep up. Raise business credit scores. Step 8, stay out of legal hot water. You can prevent every lawsuit. You can't prevent every lawsuit, but if your business always honors its contracts and obligations, that will go a long way to staying out of court. The other legal issue is accidents. Keep workplaces clean and obstruction free. Get a risk assessment done by your insurer. They're in the business of loss prevention, and you should be too. Step number 9, know the codes. Your business has 2 kinds of codes: SIC, Standard Industrial Classification, and NAICS, North American Industry Classification System. Industries can be either restricted or high risk. In general, restricted and high risk industries have some things in common. There may be high risk of injury on the job, or the industry may engage in a lot of cash transactions. This is true no matter what the safety record of a particular business or the majority of its transaction types. Restricted and high-risk industries per the SIC, these are restricted industries: energy, oil trading or petroleum extraction or production, pawn shops. Much of the cannabis industry is restricted per the SIC. The following industries are high risk as well: auto, recreational vehicle, or bulk sales travel agencies. These companies are subject to stricter underwriting guidelines. SIC and NAICS codes, be honest when you choose yours, but there's no reason to choose the riskiest code if a less risky one might apply to the same company. And keep the name of a high risk or restricted industry out of your business name. Chico's bail bonds can be renamed as Chico's. This is above board and honest. Raise business credit scores. Step 10, increase your most recent high credit use. Credit issuers determine how high a credit limit to issue based on how much you spend monthly and how recently you've spent it. Get approved for limits more than 10 times of your existing limits just by monitoring and increasing your recent high credit use. And use your credit often so you can get more credit with every approval. Step 11, tame your utilization percentage. Credit issuers want to see you're using your credit but maintaining it wisely. They monitor these stats to approve decisions. Get approved for limits more than 10 times of your existing limits just by monitoring and responsibly managing your utilization. Raise business credit scores bonus. Step 10 or 12, address any adverse accounts. Negative payment history can diminish your ability to get loans and credit cards. It can increase the rates and payments on the credit cards and loans you do get. Know which accounts are reporting adverse credit history, then you can work with the CRAs and credit issuers. Correct inaccuracies, add more positive history to offset those negatives. Step 13, monitor your business credit. You will never know what's going on unless you check it, but you're often too busy to check. Monitoring makes that easy. We make it affordable, save 90% of what Experian and Dun & Bradstreet charge. Instead of $149 a month for DMB and $149 and $50 a month for Experian, get access to both for just $24. So here's a recap. Start with the Dun and 3 payment experience to get a payback score. New businesses, credit scores tend to be low. CRAs all have slightly different criteria for scoring, but results are very close. But what improves one will improve them all. Start to improve your scores with on-time payments and responsible financial stewardship. Work with the vendor credit tier to start getting payment experience. Ask for trade references. Give CRAs all the data they request. Keep trade payments in line and try to stay out of legal entanglements. Address adverse accounts or SIC and NAICS codes that may be keeping scores down. Increase your most recent high credit used, but watch utilization. Monitor your business credit. We offer low cost monitoring in DMB and Experian. Easily and quickly get financing. Get access to every legitimate funding program in one place with us. You don't pay us any fees for that. Use our loan volume to get lower rates and fees. Business blueprint to graduate to SBA loans. Never look for funding again. All right. So today's video was 10 mind-blowing simple steps any entrepreneur can take to raise their business credit scores. All right, so I will leave my email down below, website down below as well. You can contact me personally with questions on how to get started. And thank you guys for watching.